Hey there, welcome to my channel. Today's topic is green roofs and vertical gardens. Now, they may sound like pretty similar things, but they actually serve different purposes, even though they do share some commonalities. So let us talk about them separately first, and then at the end we can talk about how they can be used together in one project. First up, green roofs. The idea here is to turn a building's roof into an area covered with vegetation. This can take many forms, from a simple roof garden with grass and small plants, all the way to full-blown intensive green roofs that can have large trees planted on them. For this video, I am going to focus primarily on extensive green roofs because they are easier to build and maintain and thus more widely used. Extensive green roofs consist of a lightweight growing medium, often called a soil mix, that sits on top of a waterproofing membrane, which itself is attached to the roof. The soil mix can range anywhere from 5 to 15 centimeters deep and only grows shallow-rooted plants such as sedums, grasses, and small perennials. The lack of soil depth means that these roofs require very little maintenance and no irrigation. They are also fairly lightweight, so they don't put too much additional stress on the building's structure. And lastly, they can be installed on top of almost any flat roof, meaning that they can be easily retrofitted onto existing buildings. The wide variety of benefits that these roofs offer has made them very popular among architects and building owners in recent years. In fact, in some cities, such as Vancouver, it's actually mandated by law that new buildings have green roofs installed. Okay, so what exactly makes them so great? Well, one of the biggest advantages of extensive green roofs is that they provide additional insulation for the building. During summer months, the vegetation acts as a buffer between the building and the sun, which helps keep the interior of the building cool. Conversely, in winter months, the vegetation cover helps keep the heat inside the building and reduces energy costs. On average, green roofs can provide an insulation value equivalent to about 20 centimeters of mineral wool or 10 centimeters of polyurethane foam. This is not only good news for the environment, since it reduces the need for heating and cooling, but it's also good news for the building owner, who will save money on utility bills. Another advantage of green roofs is their ability to absorb rainfall. This helps prevent rainwater from flowing over the roof and into the stormwater drains, which can become overwhelmed during heavy rainfalls. Instead, the vegetation and soil absorb the water, reducing the risk of flooding and allowing the water to slowly evaporate off the roof. This also helps purify the air by removing pollutants such as sulfur dioxide, nitrogen oxides, and ozone. This is mainly due to the plants taking up these pollutants through their leaves during photosynthesis. But it's also partly due to the microbes in the soil that break down pollutants once they reach the ground. Another advantage of green roofs is that they can help with noise insulation. The vegetation absorbs and dampens the sound of traffic and other noises, creating a quieter environment inside the building. This can be especially beneficial in areas where noise pollution is a problem, such as near airports or busy roads. And finally, green roofs can also help with the urban heat island effect. Since they reflect more sunlight than dark roofs, they can help keep the city cooler overall. This can be especially beneficial in hot climates where the urban heat island effect is more severe. The next type of green infrastructure is the vertical garden. Unlike green roofs, vertical gardens are not meant to be walked on, and they can be built on the side of a building or even freestanding. There are many ways to construct a vertical garden, but most of them consist of a framework that holds the plants in place. This can be made out of almost anything from recycled plastic to metal to concrete. The framework is then attached to the building and filled with a growing medium such as soil or hydroponic solution. Plants are placed in the growing medium and allowed to grow upwards. Some vertical gardens are designed to be modular so that they can be easily moved or reconfigured, while others are meant to be permanent. One of the main benefits of vertical gardens is that they can provide additional living space. This can be in the form of balconies, patios, or even entire rooms. Vertical gardens can also help improve the aesthetics of a building, making it more visually appealing. They can also help to insulate the building by providing an additional barrier between the interior and exterior spaces. This can help reduce energy costs associated with heating and cooling the building. Vertical gardens can also help remove pollutants from the air, similar to green roofs. However, because they are in close proximity to the buildings they are attached to, they can remove even more pollutants than green roofs can. Additionally, vertical gardens can help with urban heat island effect by providing shade and also by absorbing heat through evapotranspiration. Lastly, vertical gardens can also help with stormwater management by intercepting rainfall and snowmelt. This can help reduce the amount of runoff that flows into the stormwater drains, reducing the risk of flooding. Now, while both green roofs and vertical gardens offer a lot of benefits, they can sometimes cause problems if they're not properly designed and maintained. For example, if they are not installed correctly, they can leak. If they are not properly maintained, they can become overgrown and unattractive. And if they are not designed to withstand the local climate, they can fail completely. Fortunately, there are now organizations that offer certifications for green roofs and vertical gardens. These certifications ensure that the green roof or vertical garden meets certain standards for quality and performance. So, if you are considering installing one of these systems, be sure to look for a certified installer. Okay, so now let's talk about how green roofs and vertical gardens can be used together. As mentioned earlier, green roofs are best suited for flat or low-slope roofs, while vertical gardens are best suited for vertical surfaces. However, there are many buildings that have both flat roofs and vertical surfaces. In these cases, it makes sense to use both green roofs and vertical gardens. By doing so, you can maximize the amount of vegetation on the building, which in turn maximizes the amount of benefits you receive. Additionally, using both green roofs and vertical gardens can create a more visually appealing building. The combination of vegetation on the roof and walls can create a unique and interesting look that can help to set the building apart from others. Furthermore, using both green roofs and vertical gardens can help create a more sustainable building. By using vegetation to reduce the building's energy costs and improve its environmental performance, you can create a building that is more environmentally friendly and sustainable. A great example of a building that uses both green roofs and vertical gardens is the Bullitt Center in Seattle, Washington. The Bullitt Center is a 6-story mixed-use building that was completed in 2013. The building was designed to be the greenest commercial building in the world, and it features a green roof and vertical gardens on every level. The green roof on the Bullitt Center is extensive, meaning that it does not require watering or maintenance. The roof is covered with native plants that provide habitat for birds and other wildlife. The vertical gardens on the Bullitt Center are located on the south and east facades of the building. The vertical gardens help to insulate the building and also provide habitat for wildlife. The plants in the vertical gardens are watered using a drip irrigation system. Overall, the green roof and vertical gardens on the Bullitt Center are a great example of how green infrastructure can be used to create a more sustainable building. So there you have it. That was a quick overview of green roofs and vertical gardens. Hopefully, you learned something new. If so, please hit that like button. If you want to learn more about sustainable design and construction practices, stay tuned for more videos. Thanks for watching.